Warm greetings to all of you. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate a decade of Love Matters. I still remember the initial days of Love Matters with just a handful of people and limited resources. Starting from there until today, Love Matters has covered a long and evolutionary journey. 10 years ago, we started with a dream, hope, and immense zeal, and today we are here celebrating a major milestone. We may not be in the list of fastest growing companies in the world, but Love Matters Global Network is undoubtedly one of the fastest growing networks in the world. On that note, it is my pleasure to present to you some amazing team members from the network. Today, we have with us Sandy Abdelmessih, Project Coordinator of Love Matters Arabic, Alu Azege, the Director of Media, Health and Rights Initiative of Nigeria, and Terry Gachie, Country Coordinator, Love Matters Kenya. Welcome all of you. Sandy, my first question is for you. For much of the history, Arab cultures were famous not for sexual reticence and intolerance as they are today, but quite the opposite. How do you think Love Matters Arabic is helping reclaim and rewrite the rules in the context of sexuality education?
I believe it's very important to be sensitive to the context and culture, but it's equally important not to be limited by it. So what we do at Love Matters Arabic is opening conversations with our audience and creating a safe space for them to express their thoughts and share their needs. And in my opinion, being sensitive to the context does not mean avoiding certain topics, but it's how we address these topics with consideration to the specific needs and fears of our audience, so they could feel ownership to the narratives that we are developing. By building this trust with our audience, they are not afraid to talk openly about sex and pleasure because they know that they will not be judged, misled, or dismissed. We are also keen to use all the digital tools at our disposal to read into trends and collect data and insights to inform our content creation. We don't just ignore controversial issues to avoid resistance, because when we look at the data, we know that young people are heavily searching for knowledge about these controversial topics. So we provide them with what they are looking for. Another strategy to do that in a smart way is that we don't push too much too fast, meaning that we use a gradual approach to addressing sensitive topics to build on our audience engagement. We have a very successful online moderation strategy in place that allows us to interact on a daily basis with our audience to guide them through tough and sensitive topics on their own pace. So it's basically the balance between daring to address sensitivities and respecting the nature of the community and the existing inhibitors. Thank you, Vithika.
Incredible work, Sandy. Of course, you talked about working in a very challenging environment, talking about strategy, talking about understanding the cultural context and taking a very gradual step-by-step approach. Almost a masterclass for everyone who's listening in and talking about working in such challenging environments. Thank you very much. Alu, my next question is for you. What are the major sexual reproductive health and rights challenges that young people in Nigeria face? And how do you think a pleasure-positive approach as used by LM Naija is helping address those challenges?
Yeah, so for Nigeria, a couple of them actually, and our laws don't even help us either. So we have abortion rights as a whole topic and issue where lots of young people still have the challenge with it. We also have a lot of sexual and gender-based violence, especially from 2020, the whole COVID period. I'm sure if you were listening to the news anywhere in the world, you would have found out that Nigeria, the rates at which SGBV happened in Nigeria was really, really accelerated. And that became a major problem. We have a lot of gender inequality in Nigeria, and a lot of young women especially do not own their rights. They do not even know their rights in the first place. And so for us, Love Matters Naija, what we're doing is making sure that young girls especially get to know their rights, especially their SRHR rights. They get to know that it's not okay to be in a relationship where you are not equal. It's not okay to be, to feel less of yourself just because of your gender. It's not okay to look down on yourself and not know that you have a certain right to make you feel good or even feel better. In the course of watching this production, I thought to myself, how many young people really, really are pleasure thinking pleasurable when it comes to the issues of sex, you know. But SRHR has been a major challenge for us in these areas. And like Sandy said, what we have done is to accelerate our moderation tactics. And we've taken it a notch higher by going into a lot of digital counseling and a lot of, you know, digital building community for them to make sure that they feel safe, they feel they know we are not judging. We are also partnering with a lot of people who would offer them these services, you know, because of course we don't offer these services, but what we do is moderate, make them safe, make them open up, make them feel relaxed, make them feel good, keep them informed about their rights, and you know, get to explore this right. And we follow their journey. We inform them, they go out, they explore this information, they come back to us and they confirm that what they've learned, what they now know has really gotten them better. They can now demand certain rights when they set out there. They go to some of these our partners, you know, where they offer SRHR services, and they know what to ask for. Once someone is being judgmental or non-friendly, they know that this is not it. And so they have begun to understand what is in it for them, how best to seek for their rights, and a lot of them have begun to explore that.
Thank you, Alu. Difficult work, you know, working at the intersection of technology and public health and being able to talk about some very, very important issues that, of course, are not talked about openly in the society, and almost setting the foundation for young people and for future generations in Nigeria. Thank you very much. Terry, of course, my question is for you now. How can you take the learnings from Love Matters and integrate it into future projects that you work on, such as your part as Love Matters Kenya in Right Here, Right Now program?
Thank you, Vithika. So as you mentioned, we work in conservative environment that apply very conservative approaches to discussions around sexuality and as something as straightforward as sexual pleasure. So in trying to mirror what is going on in the ground or what is happening on the ground, one of the lessons that we have learned is not to use the approach of bashing or treating with contempt the value systems that you have found in where you're operating. So as Elsa Miki has said, you can approach any topic in joy and lightness. So the power of persuasion, not trying to show someone what you're doing is wrong, but really trying to show them, actually, I have a more pleasurable, safer, more beneficial, and really good way that you can enjoy yourself. That way that you create that curiosity in them to also to try your way. And I think we have seen that work. And the other lesson is really having that social influence, looking for people who, when it comes to rights, they have a voice and they can render a voice to those who may not be able to actually speak for themselves.
So really making it fun and conversational and really connecting with young people. Thank you, Terry. I guess from the conversations that we have had here, we know that in these 10 years, we have seen successes, we have seen failures, highs and lows, celebration and crisis, well, almost everything. But the one thing that Love Matters Global Network did was to continue moving ahead and continue learning. Let's give a big round of applause for our unity and efforts and for all those who have been a part of this journey. This, of course, includes our audience, donors, and supporters. Thank you once again for joining us today to celebrate pleasure and sexual and reproductive health and rights of young people. Take care, stay safe.